This is Jeb Blunt, and it's Money Monday on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Say, make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound.
All right, it is Monday, the most important day of the week, because when you seize this day and start your week strong, you'll end your week strong. And I'm back after taking a hiatus from Memorial Day with an important message for field sales professionals who are often spending more time staring at their windshield instead of looking into their customers' eyes. Over the past couple of years, there's been a rebirth of field sales. Businesses everywhere are adding field salespeople and sending reps out into their territories to meet with customers face to face. And for good reason. Human beings buy from human beings. The most powerful way to anchor relationships, solve problems, and sell more is to actually get in front of your customers. And with AI creating so much noise in the system, it's getting harder to prospect via email and social media. So going out and knocking on doors has become an easier way to connect with people, build relationships, and open opportunities in your pipeline. And the good news, at least for now, is that prospects are happy to see field sales pros and are inviting them in. I know this firsthand. I've been out with sales reps, and it's surprising how open people are to having conversations with you. Whereas 20 years ago, if you walked into a business, they'd probably kick you right out. But with this rebirth of outside sales comes an age-old problem. Field salespeople have got to get into vehicles to travel to customers. And the single greatest waste of time for field sales professionals is in vehicles, staring at a windshield, traveling to customers. So today, I'm going to teach you exactly how to minimize windshield time and maximize face time, because at the end of the day, you don't get paid to drive, you get paid to sell. Now, too many sales reps delude themselves into believing that driving from one place to another is working. So let's get this straight from the get-go. Driving is not an accomplishment. I don't care if you put 100 miles on your vehicle today. That doesn't mean you accomplished anything meaningful. It just means you drove from one place to the next, burning dinosaurs and wasting time. I see this everywhere I go. Reps will drive to one customer and then drive 2 hours all the way across their territory to get to another customer. They'll deadhead out to an appointment and then drive all the way back to the office, passing dozens of prospects they could have walked into along the way. So don't confuse activity with productivity. Just because you drove all over creation doesn't mean you had a productive day. You see, your job is to be in front of customers, not behind a steering wheel. And every minute you spend staring at your windshield is a minute you're not building relationships, solving problems, putting new opportunities in the pipe, and closing deals. Let me put this in perspective with some simple math. Let's say you're a typical sales rep working in a moderate-sized territory. You make 5 customer visits per day. And between poor route planning and territory management, you spend an average of 45 minutes driving between each appointment. That's 3 hours and 45 minutes of windshield time. And over a 5-day work week, that's 18 hours and 45 minutes of non-productive time, where nearly half your work week is spent accomplishing absolutely nothing. Now, let's say we tighten this up and reduce the drive time to 20 minutes between appointments through better planning. Now, we're down to 1 hour and 40 minutes of windshield time daily, or 8 hours and 20 minutes over the week. We just freed up 10 hours per week. That's enough time for 15 to 20 additional customer visits or prospecting calls. Over a month, that's 60 to 80 more customer touch points. Over a year, that's 720 to 960 additional opportunities to build relationships, build pipe, and generate revenue. The reps who figure this out get a better work-life balance, but they also dominate their territories and blow past their quotas while everyone else is driving around aimlessly in their territories. This is why the first rule of field sales is getting your territory mapped, segmented, and planned to reduce drive time. I remember when I started out in field sales, the first thing my sales manager did was sit down with me and help me map my territory into quadrants where I'd be working on specific days of the week. I clearly remember him saying that if it's Monday and you're in your Thursday quadrant, you better have a damn good reason. And the truth is, at the time, I didn't quite understand exactly what we were doing, but soon it made sense. Because by concentrating my focus each day in a tighter geographic area, I wasted less time and I made a lot more money. Start by printing out a map and grabbing a Sharpie, and then mark it up. Monday might be the Northeast quadrant, Tuesday the Southeast, Wednesday the Southwest, Thursday the Northwest, and Friday, that could be your flex day for special situations or your highest priority accounts, regardless of location. And keep that map visible where you can see it. The tighter your route planning, the more selling time you create and the less windshield time you waste. And yes, you will get off track from time to time. That's the real world. But because you've built a set of tracks, when you get off, you know where to get back on. Then use the hub and spoke model to maximize your time in each geographical area. It works like this. Once you have an appointment booked on your calendar, use your CRM and mapping tools to pre-plan and route 5 additional drop-ins or door swings around that appointment. This will both increase the number of prospecting calls you make each day and help you avoid the temptation to just head back to the office after your appointment. You'll increase your productivity further with the practice of T-calling. As you walk into or out of those pre-planned prospecting calls, look to your left, look to your right, and look behind you, and then knock on those doors too. Walk in, introduce yourself, and start building relationships. You're already there. You've already invested the windshield time to get to that location, so maximize your return on that investment. Think about it. With this methodology, you can easily squeeze in an additional 10 to 15 prospecting touches after each scheduled appointment. It's how you get every ounce of productivity out of your sales day. And territory planning and mapping helps you make better decisions about responding to customer requests. If a customer calls you on Tuesday needing help, rather than dropping everything and driving all the way to their location, assess whether it's truly an emergency or if it can wait until you're in that part of your territory on Thursday. Learn how to say, I'll be in your area on Thursday. Can I schedule some time with you then? You see, most requests that feel urgent really aren't. So don't let poor planning by others derail your territory strategy. And when you do need to leave one part of your territory in order to handle a high priority customer, don't deadhead straight back to your office or home base. Look left, look right, and look behind you and make additional calls in that immediate area before you leave. But no matter how well you plan, you're still going to spend time behind the wheel. So here's the critical question. When you're driving between accounts, what's coming through your speakers? Is what you're listening to lifting you up, making you better, helping you make more money, or is it tearing you down? Top performers, ultra high performers, attend Automobile University. Instead of listening to the news or sports radio that usually puts you in a negative mindset, they're listening to audiobooks, training courses, and business podcasts. The compound effect of consistently investing in yourself while you're driving is enormous. If you spend just 60 minutes a day listening to educational content in your car, that's 5 hours per week, 20 hours per month, 240 hours per year of professional development while you're driving your car. That's the equivalent of 6 full work weeks of training annually just from drive time. When you're always learning, you improve your skills, you build stronger business acumen, you stay current with industry trends, and you develop a competitive edge over reps who waste their windshield time listening to talk radio. And most importantly, consistently learning maintains a stronger belief system and a winning attitude. You arrive at each appointment energized and confident instead of drained and negative. So here's what I want you to do right now. First, audit your current windshield time. For the next week, track exactly how much time you spend driving. Calculate the total number of hours that you're spending behind the wheel. This number will probably shock you. Next, map out your territory into quadrants. Get out a map and a Sharpie, divide your territory into logical geographical sections, and assign each section to specific days of the week and commit to staying in your designated areas except when absolutely necessary. Then, plan all your routes in advance. Every evening or first thing in the morning, use your CRM and mapping tools to plan your most efficient route through your designated quadrant so that you're not just winging it and you're avoiding traffic and places that can hold you up. Then, I want you to implement the hub and spoke method. For every scheduled appointment, pre-plan 5 additional prospecting calls in that immediate area. And when you pair this with T-calls, you'll turn a single appointment into a territory blitz. Next, create your learning playlist. Download 3 audiobooks, subscribe to 5 relevant podcasts, or enroll in at least 1 audio training course. And you can find audio training courses on Sales Gravy University. And by the way, the new remastered audiobook version of my international bestseller, Sales EQ, was just released this week, so perhaps you might make Sales EQ one of your first choices. And finally, track your progress. Keep a log of the time that you're saving by staying in your quadrants, what you're learning during your drive time, and how it's impacting your performance. And when you get off track, and you will, commit to getting right back on your plan. I'll be back with my final thoughts in just a moment. But first, a big shout out and a huge thank you to Michael Mayander, Eric Zanizer, Dan Albani, and Michelle Hill for sharing the Sales Gravy podcast with their followers on LinkedIn. And look, if you're getting value from this podcast, please do me a solid and take a moment to share it on LinkedIn and tag me in that share and give us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify. Remember that in field sales, time is literally money. Every minute you're wasting staring at your windshield is money out of your pocket. But every minute you invest in smart territory planning and continuous learning is an investment in your success. The field sales professionals who master territory management don't just sell more. They work smarter, they reduce stress, and they create more time for the things in their life that matter outside of work. So stop staring at your windshield and start looking into your customers' eyes, because that's where the money is. And remember, when you've been out in the field all day knocking on doors and you're ready to quit, always stop and make one more call. This is Jeb Blunt, and I'll see you next time on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Survival of the fittest, you can sink or swim. I've been broke, I ain't never going back again. I need some C-notes, some cheddar, and a stack of ends. I need a bowl of dough, I don't need no Facebook friends. I need a pack of them snaps, a handful of Fetty Wops, and rubber band on my greenbacks. Look, dawg, don't be playing with my paper. I need every red cent, that's why I brought my little scraper. Money, 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 money.